Hi, it's Paul here from InterAcct Software. In this video, we're going to go through the estimating side of the Odoo job costing package that we've created. So we're going to look at the same job as we had before, which is that Wollongong West development. And as I mentioned in my previous video, we've got a master job or a parent job, and then we've got the sub jobs that sit underneath it. And most of the time you will normally create the estimates within those sub jobs rather than the parent job, but it's up to you. You can still use the parent job to create estimates as well. So if I go into one of these child jobs, you can see that there's one estimate already there, version 1, and it's already actually assigned to a existing quote. So if we can go and just view that estimate by clicking the button over here, but I'm going to create a brand new one now, and we'll then add a second estimate to this particular sub job. So I'm going to click here, and normally I just call it the version 1, version 2. You can call it anything you like, it doesn't really matter. And typically from here I'll just go save and close, and then save here. And then you can see that we've got now those two estimates there. So you can create as many estimates as you like underneath each job. There's no issue there. And this little tick box here just indicates that which one are we going to use for the quote. So now that we've created a second one, we're probably not going to need the first one anymore. So what I'll do is I'll come into here, just untick that and save it. And then I'll just come back to my job, and I can now see that version 2 is the one I'm going to use. So from there I'm going to go into the estimate, and then you can see a summary, which obviously doesn't have anything just at the moment. And then what I'm going to go through is just having a look at these options here. So under settings, you'll be able to define the cost groups and what markup, or whether it uses the price list. So I'm going to just create a new one here, put labor in. Default comes through at 20%. Now that's set up in your configuration file up here, but I'm going to change that to 40%. And then I'm going to add another line, and we'll just do for Subbies. And we're going to use this one in the price list for this one. So it's going to ignore that markup of 20% there. It's just going to use the prices that are under the product database. So that's when we're setting up all these or when we're putting in products into the system, we can define which cost group they relate to. So each of these lists here, so labor, materials, subbies, machines, and sundry, each of them will only show you those items that are related to that particular cost group. So you've got to make sure that your products are set up to those cost groups before you can put in the estimate. So when I click add a line here, if I just do the drop down here, you can see there's only a couple of different labor products that we've put into the database that we can link to. So as you can see, it's brought through labor as the cost group here, brought through the unit cost, added the 20% on here, and if we save it. Now what I've done here, I've just made a mistake actually. I forgot to save this first before I created the labor line. So if I add another line here in again, and do the same thing, you can see that the 40% has come through. So you can obviously just come back and change that to 40% as well, and put in the quantity here, and that will then obviously calculate down to your total price here, which my face is hiding at the moment. But yeah, there you've got your labor cost, labor sell, and a expected profit. So it's the same with all these other cost groups here. You can go and put in sundries, and again this list here will just be showing you the sundry items that we've got in the database. And as I mentioned before, the default that we've set up under the configuration is 20% for the markup, so that's what it's coming through. So if I just save that there, then that's added in some sundry costs as well. If I click back now at the financials, you can see that we're starting to build up an estimate, and we've got an expected sell for that estimate. So that's what would come through when we create the quotation later down the track. We can put a description in here, and that again is something that can be put on the estimate, and then that will then flow through on the quotation. So this is the revised quote, well, revised estimate for the 7 Green Road. So I'm just going to save that now. And then from there it's in draft mode at the moment, so it will move between draft then quoted once you've assigned it to a quote, and then if it gets confirmed you will move it to budget, but if not you can move it to lost. So I'll come back to here, and now you can see that there's two versions of the estimating here. If I look at financials of this particular job, which is a sub job as we talked about of the parent job, you can see that there's nothing in budget yet. Now that won't occur until the budget's been confirmed, which is when the sales order gets created for the quotation. This is just looking at the estimate side, so we'll be looking at how we move from quotation to sales order in another video. I hope that explains how it all works, and if you enjoy it and think it's going to be useful for you guys, let us know, and we'll see what we can do with installing it. We are an Odoo partner and have been installing ERP packages since 1983. Mainly our Australian-made package InterAcct software, which has a ton of great features, quite similar to Odoo. We've been helping clients personalize and install Odoo since 2020. We pride ourselves on our customer relationships and getting to know exactly what benefits their businesses. You can contact us via our website or toll-free number 1300 66 2626. We hope to hear from you soon.